Hello everybody. In this video we're going to show you how to make a custom plot of the National Weather Service temperature forecast, meaning custom bounds in latitude and longitude coordinates. I'm meteorologist Eric Drewitz, and I'm also the developer of Fire Weather Pie, and I work for the USDA, U.S. Forest Service. So let's get started here. So first we're going to start with our import. So we're going to say from Fire Weather Pie import NWS temperature forecast CONUS, and let's simplify that, say, as NWS. So let's do Alt Enter to run that cell. So when making a custom plot, I want to just speak now while we wait for this cell to run, because there's a few things you need to know. You're going to need to play, number one is you're going to need to play around with the optional arguments more, meaning like the western bound, the eastern bound, the southern bound, the northern bound. You're going to need to find a good figure size. You're going to need to find a good position for the signature. That's that little text box that says plot created with Fire Weather Pie, the copyright symbol, my name, things like the reference system, the time the plot was created, the source of the data. That text box is the signature. And then you're also going to need to set the state equal to none, because the state's default is US, meaning all of CONUS. And you're going to need to find a good value for the decimation factor. Decimation has to do with how the numbers that are the values of, let's say in this case, the maximum temperature values that you'll see overlaid with those numbers, how they're spaced apart on the image. So when doing a custom plot, it's going to take some trial and error. I actually, on the screen that you're not seeing, have code for a custom plot I created before doing this video to make sure we have one that looks nice to show you guys. The other thing is when you're doing, this is only for CONUS. So actually, I want to do this really quick right now, and I will tell you why. So in a second. So we'll do NWS dot, we'll use our tab completion. And we'll do plot maximum temperature forecast. And now we want to do our western bound, set that equal to 110 west, so negative 110. Eastern bound equals negative 90. Southern bound equals 25. Northern bound equals 45. So those are our latitude, longitude coordinates for the boundaries of the plot. So now we want to do fig x length, which is the length of our figure in the x direction. So we'll do 12 fig y length equals 12. So a 12 by 12 figure. Now we want to define our signature x and y position. So signature x position equals 0.2. Signature y position equals 0.25. State equals none. Decimate equals 1800. Oh. Okay. Now let's run that cell. So the reason why I wanted to do this quickly now, and I'm going to go back to now what I was about to say, is when, first of all, this is for CONUS only that has the customization feature. Alaska, you could look at, I didn't make it for Alaska and Hawaii, because for Alaska, you could look at the different CWAs in addition to the whole state. So you could look at like Anchorage East Domain, Anchorage West Domain, Fairbanks Domain, Juneau Domain. And for Hawaii, you could look at the entire state or an individual island. So I didn't see the need to do a custom plot because there's a lot of customization in that for those two states. Now, here's the reason why I wanted to do this, to type that in quick and get this done now before it gets to like 15, 17 past the hour. So anytime you're creating a custom plot for with the CONUS, it uses the grid files in the CONUS directory on the NWS FTP server. Now, I don't know what goes on behind the scenes with the files, but I have noticed on the bottom half of the hour, generally like 15 to 17 past to about 47 past, there's all these weird things that pop up in the grid files. Only for the full CONUS ones, not for the ones that are broken down by region. So this is not one of the. So this is not like if you're using a state that's on a regional plot. So like for our South Ops ones, we use the Pacific Southwest grid file. This is only for CONUS, where you get all these errors at the bottom half of the hour. So at some point, I will go in and I will put out a patch, but it's low on my priority list because what I did for now is, because again, remember, this package is meant for people that want to create automated graphics for like a website or for operations. So what I did was I built in an idling function that will stall out. It will essentially pause the running if you get an error, if you get an exception triggered when downloading and trying to parse through the data. It'll temporarily pause the program until 47 minutes or 48 minutes past the hour after the file gets updated again, and then it'll re-download it and it'll do everything, and it works just fine. I've tested it out many times. Fortunately, since we were cognizant of the time, we did this now, and so you could see we created our images. I already created the path, like I said, because I played around before making this video to make sure we have good size and spacing. So here's what the path to the file looks like. We have our weather data parent directory. We have then our NWS forecast directory in that, because this is an NWS forecast product. The type of product, so NWS Maximum Temperature. Now, instead of seeing a state or a GAC region like in most of the other videos, you'll see custom, because we wanted to do a custom plot. So anytime you do a custom plot, you'll see custom. And then our reference system, states and counties. I could have changed that around, but I chose not to in this case, just because we were playing around in this example with enough optional arguments. I didn't feel like changing it. So now let's go to our directory. So this is where our images are saved, but we're going to go to weather data first just to show you the path from this angle. NWS forecast, NWS Max T, custom, states and counties. And now you'll see our images. So you can see we have things looking generally pretty good, spaced out well. The decimation, which has to do with how the numbers are spaced, looks good. And so that's the NWS maximum temperature forecast for the next 7 days. So with a custom area that's not any of the presets that you could choose from. Now, like I said, 98% of you at least probably will choose some form of custom preset, because you could do any of the 50 states and any of the 10 GAC regions. Although for Alaska, I didn't make AICC its own one, because you just use Alaska for the state, because it's the same thing. But for those 2% of you maybe, or it could be more, that would want to have a plot with custom coordinates for boundaries, that's how you do it. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and feel free to subscribe for more content.